Dear participants, welcome to the afternoon session. So in this session, we have a subject expert, Mr. Nagaraj Rao. So he is having around more than 25 years of industry experience. So basically his interests are PLC and industry automation. So he is associated with CIT in various roles. So and he is very resourceful. So it's a great honor, sir, to welcome you to this workshop and this session. So
Thank
now
you.
I will hand over session to Nagaraj Rao, sir. Please, sir.
Yeah. Uh, Good afternoon, all. So, I think responding will be a slower one because you have to unmute your mic and then you have to respond. I presume that you usually respond. Regarding the participants, are all audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are
Yeah.
audible, sir.
Yeah. So, regarding the participants, all these participants are from CIT or industry background or anything like that?
Sir, basically it's a refresher program, sir. So
Yeah.
where we are going to bring the newest technologies to the teachers, basically.
Fine.
Okay. So you,
The participants are all teachers, right?
yes, sir, professors in various colleges and various disciplines.
Yeah. Can I have a very small introduction about them each? How many are there total?
So totally there are 40 to
Oh
45
my
members
God.
are there, sir.
Oh, then it will be a long time for them to get introduced.
Yes, sir.
So I think I can skip that. Is it okay if I skip?
Okay, sir. No issue.
Okay. See, the basic idea of this program is to just give you the updated technology on IoT and how it is used in the process plant. Before getting into that, I would like to just summarize that I am a narrator. I'll be more comfortable in narrating or telling you the facts rather than showing you some slides and then getting on to the reading of the slides. So you will not expect any slides from me now, as of now. If required, I will just present you some slides in the later part of the program. Now, basically, I'm an instrumentation engineer, passed out in 1989. Passed out in 1989, and also served in many companies in different capacities, including the educational institutes. I've been associated with CIT for many of the programs like faculty development program or any other workshops which invite more of industrial automation. Right now, I am consultant for many companies. As now, I'm a consultant for the Nexus Controls in Bangalore. Now, I would like to know, like, what basically in this program, it's a blockchain and also an IoT. Many of them are from the electronics background and computer science background. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, the topic I'll be taking now is the industrial IoT in industrial automation. Basically, what is an automation? Actually, automation is something like making a system work independently of inputs. It does not mean that there is no person at all to operate it. Yes, it requires some person, but basically it will not be depending more on the person who operates a machine or a system. This is actually a small gist of automation, what I am telling you. Automation actually, if you see, in any part of the system, without an automation, we will not be able to proceed. You may ask a question like, sir, how was the things previously? How did the plants, I mean, plant in the sense like factories, how did the factories work without the automation 30 years or 50 years back? But I would like to tell every factory was working on automation itself, but of a different texture. Like it would have not been fully automated, or it would have not been zero automated. Any system you see, it is an automation. Let us take our human body itself. It is also an automation factory. For example, you start you start eating very good food. Maybe the junk is the best way I can tell. Once you are full and done with eating, automatically your body will respond not to take more food. Am I right or not? So, in this case, if you see, the human body itself has got some automation. Without that, the human body will not serve. Again, coming to the heart, there are two or three valves inside the heart. Two valves, bicuspid or tricuspid, which we have studied very long back in our biology classes. If both the valves open together, the human body is dead. The human body is dead. There is a sort of small automation where one valve gets opened and the blood rushes into the heart, the other valve gets opened and then the blood goes out of the heart. There also there is a small bit of automation where both the valves are not closed, both the valves are not open. That means if you see automation, if it is required for a human body and which is totally controlled by the brain, why not the same automation be used for the industries? In industry, if you see, in industry, if you see, n number of machineries, n number of control system, everything will be there. Since I am a PLC expert, I would come into the examples for the PLCs. Now, how many any of these participants have worked on PLC? Can I just have a small feedback? Yeah, I'm waiting for the feedback. Why it's so silent? Okay, assuming that no one has worked on the PLC, I would like to continue. Now, what is a PLC? PLC is nothing but a programmable logic controller. Programmable logic controller. Anil, you are there? Okay. But this is a problem with the online classes. I will not be able to hear, or maybe you have compulsorily made to mute. Okay. A, a programmable logic controller is nothing but a high-end device which is able to totally control or act and give an output according to the input. Now, if you see any system developed as a control should have always a logic, should always have a logic. Without the logic, you will not be able to have a control. Imagine you try to control without a logic. There will be something like when you are in the class, you are supposed to behave as a student. When you are outside, you are supposed to behave whatever the way at that time it is. But if there is no logic, if there is no logic, then what is that you are going to have? You may wear a very thin dress in the winter and you may wear a very hard dress in the summer. There should be a logic. That means you should have exactly the logic to control an application. Now, what will happen here is Any logic and controller should be associated with a program. A program is nothing but you define a logic and command a controller to work according to it. That is called as actually the programmable logic controller. Now, all this control, everything you have already seen. But here, the point is the control can happen in many, many ways. The control can happen in many, many ways. Now, have you heard of a VAC? VAC is a vacuum absorption chiller. VAC is responsible for giving you something like the exact temperature in the room, and it is of the high duty. I'm not talking about a small AC or something. VAC is something like a vacuum absorption chiller. There you have a controller, and that control is for allowing the valve proportional so that the temperature is controlled. 1 minute, 1 minute, I'll come back. Sorry, there was some interruption. Okay, now we were talking about a VAC. VAC is again a vacuum absorption chiller, which is going to give you the exact temperature in the room, which is to be set point. Now the point is, how can we have the readings of the temperature to send to us? I request some interaction from the participants. Otherwise, it will be something like a news reading, because I'm not used to this kind of, like, we want some good interactions. So, in this case, there can have a control locally. Local control means the machine where it is mounted. Where the machine is mounted, there itself you have a control system. Then we call it as locally controlled machine. There are some control systems where the data of the machine is taken to the control room. From the control room, it is operated through some graphical user interface. We call it as GUI, graphical user interface. Now, if you see that graphical user interface, you will have a screen which is giving you all the data, and that data is being monitored by a operator, and he takes action. Though it is automated, he takes action depending upon various disturbances, and he also gets a report in the control room about how the machine is working. Now, coming to the topic. Suppose you have, let us take an example for an Aditya Birla group which has got various plants like Ultratech in Tadipatri, Ultratech in Bangalore, Ultratech in Chennai, Ultratech in Delhi, Ultratech. Many cement plants are there for Aditya Birla group. Now, suppose a head of instrumentation wants to see and also tries to control what is the way, gets the reports on his desk, but he may be anywhere in the part of the world. He may be any part in the world. Now, in this case, we actually go for one of the thing called remote monitoring. We call it as remote monitoring. Remote monitoring is what? You get the data of the local site to the remote. Now, how the data is transferred? The data is transferred, or the data is now published onto the cloud. Onto the cloud. Cloud means there is no need to see in the top. The cloud may be your computer itself. Because whenever I speak about the cloud, suddenly people start, oh, cloud means they assume, okay, we're non-IT. I'm talking about non-IT and electronics. A layman thinks that cloud means data is stored in the cloud, seeing the sky. It is not so. It is just having a server where all your data are stored in the server. That is called as the cloud. Now, all the computing happens in the cloud, and the data is published in a right way to the higher ups, or maybe anyone wants to browse that site, they can get all the data there. That since this goes on to the cloud through the internet, we call it as IoT, Internet of Things. Internet of Things is now the upcoming technology, where usually we call IIoT, that is called Industrial Internet of Things. So you should be very I mean to say, this is what where your knowledge has to get improved. Your knowledge has to get improved just with this IoT, Internet of Things. See, I would like to have share an example and experience. Recently, we did for the Blue Star. Blue Star is a company which always or number which always into the latest technology in chillers. Chillers means, I think as of now you would have not seen much chiller. If you have gone to any company, there will be a waterfall type of device, like water will be falling, there will be a compressor, there will be some motor which is operating on that water, and that system is called as a chiller. The chiller has got two items: one, incoming water, outgoing water. But you may see, what is this chiller, incoming water and outgoing water? Incoming water will have some temperature. Because of the vacuum absorption, what will happen is the vacuum pump will be on, and because of that absorption, the temperature is, it's a heat exchanger. So now it becomes very, very cold, and that water goes into the fan, a type of fan tubes, and there you get a chilled air you get, and that is what is the AC, what centralized AC what you see. It will not have much blowers and all. It is the most efficient way. Instead of the blowers, we use the chiller components. Now, Blue Star they have some enormous units installed. Blue Star has got enormous unit installed everywhere, every part of them. Now, what the end user is telling is, sir, we have a chiller in our premises, maybe 10 or 12 chillers in our premises, but we are not maintaining it. The main part of the system is maintenance. We will not be able to maintain. Please take an AMC and then please you maintain it. Now, let us assume 800 to 1000 chillers Blue Star would have put. Can Blue Star afford to have 800 engineers or 800 sites? Let us assume that 800 sites. Can a Blue Star afford to have an engineer go for each site? No. What Blue Star will do is, they will have, now the head office is in Bombay. So what they will have, they will connect all your chillers and see that every chiller is going to give the data, its OEE, all this to the cloud. From the cloud, they will put some 5 or 6 engineers in the head office. They will be browsing the cloud, and so that they will be seeing how the chiller is operating. Any problem in operation, they will just inform the concerned site that you are not maintaining it well. I mean to say, you are not operating it well. So it requires a maintenance. then that maintenance, they may send a person, or IoT is such a strong thing that we will be able to maintain, the chiller right from Mumbai itself. There is no need for anyone to go here until and unless there is a physical damage or maybe some modification in the design of the chiller. But normal maintenance, they take it. This is one application of an IoT. See, other than the control, the best part is data analysis. Always IoT is taken as a basement for the data analysis. If there is no data, there is no analysis. Today's world, data is money, money is data. Even you will not believe, wherever you apply for loan, wherever you apply for house, wherever you apply anything, wherever you go to a mall, whenever you go to a mall, they take your all telephone numbers. Though it is much not legal, all those telephone numbers are taken as a database. That is why you get so many unsolicited calls telling that, okay, from where you got, they will not be knowing your name itself, but they'll be calling you. This is one example for data. All the data are taken and then they centralize. From the call center, you get the numbers. That means wherever there is a data, there is an information. That information is now manipulated, or that information is now calculated. Based on the requirement, the output will come from there. So 90% of the IoT applications, all the data are stored in the database. It, it may be an Oracle, it may be an SQL, it may be a MySQL, it can be anything. And this can work with any kind of OS. It can work with Linux, it can work with Windows, it can work with Ubuntu, whatever it is. So the basic part of taking an IoT is data extraction. See, I will tell you one thing. IoT. I can call it in the other way, in a Oracle language, like IT plus OT is IoT. What is IT? Information technology. What is OT? Operational technology. So just with the information, you cannot have it. You may have to have the operational technology support to get or to extract the data from the machine. Maybe you have a CNC machine in your institute. Now, if I want to know what is the overall efficiency, OEE, overall efficiency of an equipment, that is called as OEE. Now, days are gone, like how the machine operates, I am not worried. How it is broken down, I am not worried. How it is made to switch on, I am not worried. But now, every individual, every company needs, like every company, what was the machine running hours, how much power did it consume, how much oil does it consume, what is the efficiency, like availability of the machine. What is that availability of the machine? That means if a machine is intended to run 24 hours in a day, what is the availability of the machine? It should be 100%. But 10 minutes broken down, 15 minutes taken off, then all this they will calculate and tell the availability of the machine is only 60%. That means the machine is available for production for 60%. Remaining 40%, where did it go? There should be some data. And that data, you take it and analyze 40%. That is why, have you heard of the term called MTBF? Anyone? Mean time MTBF, before failure. That means failure to failure, how much time it has taken. Or when it is failed to make that machine on, how much time it has been taken. All these things previously was done locally. They used to note down this time it was. Now it is not so. IoT has made it more simpler. The head of the department will be able to know this compressor or this equipment has failed at this moment, and then it has got in line with this time. That means around 15 to 20 minutes, there was a failure of that machine. Now they will analyze why that failure has happened. Why that failure has happened? Is it the operator fault? Or is it the avoidable fault, or whether because of power failure, whatever it is, then they will have action accordingly. That is the actual thing happening in the industry. That is called event tracing, all this. Let me not go into that depth of it. Now, this IoT, one question will come. Can we have a control? Can we have a control instead of a SCADA? I'll come to that word SCADA later. Instead of a SCADA, can I have a GUI that is called as a dashboard, that dashboard in the cloud, so that I can control? The answer, if I am being given a chance to operate a plant through the cloud, I will tell no. Because here, all the machines, all the conveyors, everything has got interlocks. Interlock means that conveyor should run only when this conveyor should run only this. Let us take a bottling plant. Bottle comes, filling will not happen, and bottle goes off. What is the use? Everything will be interlocked. Like bottle has to come, it has to sense, then the valve has to open, it has to fill, then the conveyor has to move. These are all interlocks. Now, if I am planning to control through the cloud, absolutely it will be a disaster if I am trying to control through the cloud, because the speed of latency I can sense here is at least it will take 500 milliseconds to 1 second for the data to travel. But our operation in the process industries, valve operation, PID operation, all will take in microseconds or maximum milliseconds. So I will not be able to control. But if it is not having much of interlocks and it is not having that much criticality, then it will be okay. But usually we suggest not to have any control from the IoT. But IoT, we always see that data are observed. This is 90% in the process industry. IoT is used for just viewing things, or it is for the higher ups to have some data. There are many things. If you go to a battery plant, that is battery manufacturing, like Amaraja, or maybe not only Amaraja, you have Exide, so many things. There, each battery has to be manufactured with a serial number, as everyone knows. You make use of this IoT for tracing a battery. That means when a battery is being to be manufactured, first the plates are manufactured and oxidized. That is called oxide plants. So once a plate is there, they immediately give a part number for the plate. They will track where all this has gone until the battery is completed. Now, they will have individual record. When this battery number 1 has been coming into the line, what was the set points for that manufacturing? It will process, say battery manufacturer will have a line. It will go into some 10 or 20 processes. Now, in 10 or 20 processes, what will it happen? Individually, every battery will have its own ID. What was the temperature set point for that battery? What was the oxidation level of that battery in that machine? Next, how much acid was filled? What was the set point and how much acid was filled? All these data are recorded, and it will be in the cloud. Now, the battery is manufactured, and then this battery now goes into the market. When this goes into the market, what will happen? You will buy the battery. Maybe 3 months later, the battery is now having a problem. You will just give the serial number of it through the IoT. It is a centralized one. Through the IoT, they will have completely the data of that battery, when it was manufactured, when the plate was taken into the line, what was the temperature setting. Every battery will have its own data. They cannot keep in premises. They will always keep in cloud. The reason is that is not much, there is no need of much security on that. So IoT again comes with another problem called cyber security. Still now they are working more and more on the security. That is why still the control of the IoT on the plants still they have not taken. Like this, IoT applications are many and many. Basically, how you extract data. Through, first of all, when we try to extract data to the cloud or extract data to the premises, what we do is first we should understand the machine or the system. When the system tells, I will be able to give you a Modbus protocol, you should have a system in the IoT such a way that I should accept the Modbus protocol. Some other system will tell, I will give you serial. You should have a situation that serial data has to be taken. You should have another system where it gives in Ethernet IP. You should feel that I am going to take the data through the Ethernet IP. So in this, if you see, many things are involved in the total system where that has to be taken to the cloud. How we take it? Now we have many systems like BeagleBone, which has got some ports, which has got some Wi-Fi, which will transmit. Raspberry Pi is also one of the unit which you can go. There are some SBC single board computers which are able to take it up and then go. So there are lot of things. There are a lot of things which are getting used to get the data from the machine or from the system. Now, without IoT, can a system work? That may be a question. Absolutely, without IoT, it can work, but there is no, what I can tell is, efficiency 100% is gone, and your cost of the production is high without an IoT. IoT is a one-time investment. IoT system is one-time investment, but if you are not implementing it, certainly the cost is going high. Again, I will tell you, even in your institutes, IoT, we can make it for energy auditing, where the management will be able to see what is the management can see what is the consumption of your power. Like in this department, what is the power? In the other department, what is the power? In the other department. Now, if there is no such reporting structure from the cloud, they have to invest in inside premises, and one more person has to see, and he has to get it into the higher management with the reports. All this, there will be time consumption. Now here, water, power, everything can be audited and stored in the cloud. Internet of things, that is what is the main motto of every plant should require the data on the centralized system. Now coming into the very interesting part is, since I am from instrumentation, previously what was the thing? There was a sensor, and that sensor will give you some output. Like let us take RTD, resistance temperature detector, temperature sensor. The output of RTD was resistance only. Now what you do, you take that resistance, get it into a signal conditioning circuit, or maybe you will select a transmitter which will give you the resistance converted to voltage, or maybe resistance converted to 4 to 20 milliamps. Then that is taken to a PLC. Then the PLC will manipulate. The PLC will manipulate. Then again, it will give you a reading what is the temperature, and it goes to a controller. Maybe the PLC will again take a control and control your temperature. This was a traditional way. Next came directly RTD with a transmitter 4 to 20 milliamps. That is RTD along with the output of the RTD, though it is a resistance, it is converted internally. It is converted internally, and then it is going to the control system as a voltage or as a current. Now, because of this Wi-Fi, because of all these advanced technologies, we have got sensors now which will transmit directly data onto the cloud itself. Onto the cloud itself. What is the advantage of this? Let us see. If anyone would have gone to Zindal steel plant in Torangal, you can see there the control room is almost 3 to 4 kilometers away from units. Some of the control, the control room is away 2 to 3 kilometers away from the site. Site in the sense like some temperature of blast furnace is supposed to be measured. Temperature of the blast furnace to be measured, and blast furnace is almost 3 kilometers away from the control room. Imagine there is a sensor. There is a sensor, and that sensor is going to give you the data, and that data is wired up and it comes to the control room. Imagine the laborious work of cabling, cable tray, and you have to select a protocol which should give you that much length. All this, it is a problem. So now everything now is getting replaced by totally a IoT based sensors. IoT based sensors. IoT based sensors means directly the value is given to the cloud, and the control room will have a receiver which will directly take from the cloud the value. There is some latency, but they will take care of all those. So IoT based sensors have come. Previously, there was no IoT based sensors at all. Now it is based totally on the IoT based sensors. Vibration sensors are there. Now, some of the institutes which I know have started developing this IoT based sensors and trying to market it as a revenue generation for the institutes, because they have taken some help from the industries and the industry experts like us. What they did, they told, sir, we want to have an R&D. We will do a IoT based sensors. Fantastic. There are a lot of things available, especially vibration sensor, flow sensor. See, when I talk about flow sensors on the IoT, I will give an example. Mangalore SEZ, they are associated with MRPL, Mangalore Refineries and Petrochemicals, which is a very huge petrol refinery or a chemical refinery. Now, literally, personally, I have seen lot of fluids, lot of water passing to the MRPL, and the water is passing through the forests. Actually, water is passing through the forest. Now, they have to introduce flow meters. The part of the flow meter is there is no provision for drawing a power line to that flow meter, because it is around 3 kilometers or 2 kilometers in the range, and you have to have that flow meter working. So the problem is you have to have a power line for that, for the flow meter to work, and again the signal line return to the control room or to the equipment. Imagine where they will dig, where they will put the probe, where they will have all the measurements. Now, slowly they are replacing every flow meter with the IoT based flow meters. That is, the flow is taken and it is given to the cloud. Now, from the cloud, these people are going to take that flow. This is the simplest way, because how it is operating is battery operated. When it is battery operated, they see that the flow meter goes to the sleep mode whenever there is no flow, and see that the battery is operated. At least 5 to 10 years of battery life is going to come. This is the project which I'm doing it in SEZ right now. So SEZ Bangalore has given us the project to take out around 5 to 10 flow meters and then get the data to the cloud through the IoT and then IoT devices. And we have selected BeagleBone as well as Raspberry Pi for that. And then we are getting into that Wi-Fi based or internet based or whatever we can call. So there are lot of things in the process industry which IoT can be used. This IoT is not on, but even now I am now stressing IoT should not be much considered for control. It should be much taken for data extraction, analysis, big data analysis, and reports generation. Control in a process industry is always inside. It is through a DCS or it is through a PLC. But the data from the PLC or data from the this one will have the IoT based structure, or the system will have only for the data analysis data. Now, coming to the pollution control board. See, this pollution control board now has made mandatory that all the all the equipments, pollution based equipments, SOx means sulfur dioxide, NOx, nitrogen dioxide, SPM, suspended particles, all the readings of this will directly go to the cloud, and from the cloud, this pollution control board is going to take the data to their system. Nowhere it is sent to the local factories. Otherwise, factories will again manipulate the data and send it that we didn't get this much pollution, but actually pollution will be happening. So now very strict Tamil Nadu and even Karnataka is getting into it. Whatever the pollution parameters are there, they directly get published onto the site of their pollution control board, and they have a system that they can shut down the total factory. If the pollution is more, they can shut down the total factory from there. They have that system. That means immediately they will take off the power, or immediately they will respond such a way that your factory will not run even a minute once the pollution is found beyond the control. So this is now is the interesting thing, where all factories are worried also in the same sense, but we people should be happy because of this technology. So everywhere, be it be anywhere, so you will have all these parameters taken into the cloud and taken. The technology of IoT has become today the bread of any engineer. Without IoT, AI, ML, now absolutely our students who come out may not find good places in good companies. With this, I want some sort of small bit of questions from your side. Again, I'll be continuing, but I want some few bit of questions. ಅನಿಲ್ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಲ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಏನೋ? I'm not able to hear any question. Okay, assume that no one has got questions. I'm going to continue. Now, this let us come to the commercial part of this IoT. Though it is technical, but a bit of is IoT expensive? Yes, all the IoT instruments, all the IoT sensors are expensive, but it is having a good return of investment. Return of investment means if you try getting into the IoT technology, yes, one time investment will be there and that is recovered very fast within a year or two, depending upon the amount of investment what you have. Now, why we call this as internet of things means anything it can include, things means anything it can include. Since this is taken through the internet to the cloud, that is why we call it as internet of things. There is nothing big in this, but industrial IoT has got some standards. Industrial IoT has got some standards. If you have time, you can just browse through Industry 4.0. Now, anywhere, any company you see, they tell I am 4.0 compliant. Industry 4.0 has got several standards, and in that standard, IoT technology is the main in that standard 4.0. That means Industry 4.0 tells I have a standard of systems where I am at par with all the big industries, or that industry follow a same standard like your Six Sigma, all this, that you have a Industry 4.0, and the head office is in Pune. Then actually you will get more information when you browse Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 compliant. What is that compliant means? You can just browse it. You will have lot of standards present in it. Now, since I am from the process background, the other part of IoT is we again take that IoT is only for analysis. Again and again, I'm telling an IoT is on a process industry. It is majorly only for analysis. Nowhere the process industry recommends to control through the net. The second thing is every industry, every industry will have their own recipes. What is that recipe? It means, suppose if I want to bring out a product, suppose if I want to bring out a product, that product will have some IPs. IPs in the sense like you have your own design. Now, suppose if design, document, quality, everything are being published in the cloud, what is the way we can guarantee for the security? Today, bank, which is the most secured site, is being hacked. If those things are hacked, why not the process industry plants recipes can be hacked? That is why they don't go in for any cloud IoT computing, just because of the issue of security. Now, if security is overtaken, I mean to say we don't have any issues of the security, can we go with an IoT for any process plant? Yes, certainly we can go for an IoT. The second thing is process industry, like an IT industry or like a manufacturing industry or like a other industry, hardly they will have one or two IT engineers. For a ratio of 500 members employees are there, they will have one IT engineer or so. All others will be core engineers like instrumentation, electronics, mechanical, civil, like that. But when you have an IoT based total system, then IT engineers who are considered to be more and more and more expensive have to be taken to the process plant. Then there itself it is taken off, because engineer cost versus the production cost and versus the return of investment they will see. So there again process industry IoT is less. But whereas the best part and best catch for the IoT is manufacturing industries. Manufacturing industries like food and processing, food and beverages, bottling, then battery manufacturing, then any automotive plants, all are based on IoT only. There is no problem. But whereas in a continuous process plant like petrochemicals, cement, metal, steel, anything you take, IoT is taken only for data. Whereas in this, you can have a control because today, if the line stops for 1 second, no problem. But there in process, line cannot stop even for 1 second because any stoppage is going to cost them at least minimum 50 to 60 lakhs to again start the plant. Where I work, that's an example. Now, with this, I am inviting again for the questions because last another 10 minutes are there. I want some questions from your side. Yes, please. No questions? ಹಲೋ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ಸರ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿದೆ ಸರ್.
So I think still I have not got any responses. Yes, I can guess because this is one of the very latest technology and you need some time to cope up with this. Better if it would have been an offline thing. I would have shown you some demonstrations on the trainer board, how IoT can be, how I can take a temperature sensor and then make a small dashboard and see that temperature onto the cloud, and using the internet of things, then we'll be able to do some small bit of applications if time permits and if there are some forums. Yes, certainly we will go below this because I know whatever I have spoken is almost like an industrial standard, which which may not be that much. I will not tell that much useful at this point of time. Maybe you will find hard to slightly understand about this because some of the terms will also have, and all this I think over a period of time you will be able to judge. Okay, IoT, whatever we are trying to do with the IoT is certainly useful, but at this moment I from your though I cannot see your body language, but I can audio language, I can feel that maybe at this moment, this sort of high level IoT terminologies may not suit you at this. Maybe we may have to go into the root level of the IoT, like Raspberry Pi, how the Raspberry Pi works, how the BeagleBone works, how do we program a Raspberry Pi, what are the tools used for the IoT, and those things. I think it will be more relevant than speaking about the application, because I thought speaking about the application will be more easier than getting it, because I thought you have already worked with some of the IoT boards. That's the reason I thought, okay, let me go with the applications. Yes, fine, whatever it was, I tried my level best to make it simpler. Then I was now I'm clear that a bit of IoT would have gone to you, if not the full. So I would rather still wait for a few questions for 2 minutes, if at all. A simple question is also okay for me, at least to end this session.
Sir, is researcher have any opportunity to work in the industry level IoT, sir? Industry IoT.
Certainly. Already, I think in our company also, 2 or 3 people are working on the projects of IoT from, I think, college from Tumkur district. Okay, so we have given them good number of projects to work on IoT. Then I think they are doing good with that system also, because we have got all the info. I think if I tell you something like this, CIT, what I have seen, has got a best infrastructure for IoT. I have seen some boards which are there in this one. Only thing is proactive staff has to go get into that and then see some projects are done. And industry also invites a lot of research activities from institutes to get into that. Certainly there are opportunities. Certainly there are opportunities. And today, I think over a period of time, another 3 to 4 years, I will bet, without the knowledge of IoT, ML, AI, there will be no engineering, including civil engineering, without this. Because IT is one section, IoT is other section. And OT, operational technology, is main, especially electronics and instrumentation. Electronics and instrumentation has got the highest share of the IoT. So, what's the way now? No questions.
Okay, sir. Sir, thank you very much for accepting our invitation. Sir, we most of the participants who are there in the session, they are all professors in various capacity, and
Okay.
we restricted ourselves for a board and a lab. So these kind of setup, and maybe only few of them they are into the research of these things, sir. But yeah, from the experts like you and many of the experts in the session, basically we got to know what is the end use of this IoT as a starting point, as a ABCD kind of thing we are studying here. But what is at the end level, at the industry level, how this IoT is viewed? So how exactly you are handling the data in that case, and what are the other technologies involved along with the IoT? So those
Correct.
things we are able to know and learn from you people, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
It's a privilege for me to talk about this for this
We know you are
find
very busy,
professors,
but even then, you're
because anyhow,
accepted our
professor is a
invitation.
professor. We are nowhere near to them, I will tell you, because they are more learned actually.
Okay, sir.
We are
Thanks.
just practical oriented. They know what actually is happening. That is what I always love the teaching faculty.
Okay, thanks a lot, sir, for
Thank
your
you.
support.
Participants, thank you very much.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I'll end my session. Can I log out?
Sure, sir.